Hello YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic, and welcome back to my YouTube channel everybody. I'm so excited to have you all back together again, and in today's video, we're going to be doing something a little interesting today. So, about a week ago, it was National Cinema Day, and of course, you know, it's National Cinema Day, celebration of cinema films, and that also means that if you go to the movie for one day, August 27th, if you go to the movie theater, that movie will cost $4. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to experience that and go to the movie theater to do that, but I have been to the movie theaters many times before that, so today I'm going to give you my top 5 favorite movie experiences of movies that I saw in the theater and what were my experience of seeing them. So let's go ahead and get started doing that. Now, I'm not going to do any honorable mentions on this list just because I have a lot. So I'm only going to give you my rendition of just 5 movies I loved seeing in the theater. So it is kind of interesting that I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, a very recent film, in this list because, you know, most people would be putting like a more other film on this list. You know, a more dated movie on this list, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was just a great movie. Of course, it had all the great moments of, you know, the heartbreaking story of Rocket Raccoon, the great hype of hearing all of the songs that James Gunn put in this film, and the actions, and getting hyped for all the action sequences, getting your heart ripped out when you think all these characters are about to die and they don't. It really is just experiencing a great film. But I think what really was so impactful about this experience of going to see this movie in the theater was the sound. I remember I went to go see Lightyear back last year in June of 2022, and I'd probably say that's my worst movie experience. You know, I was excited for that film. You know, I love Buzz Lightyear and everything, and I think before Guardians, Lightyear was the last movie I saw that took place in space, and so you had big epic space battles and all that, and so, you know, when you're going into a big epic space battle movie, you expect the theater to be loud and exciting and massive, and the seats are shaking and all that, and Lightyear, I did not get that, and I'd probably say not just that, but like the entire movie was just not that, was just the entire like feeling of the theater just did not feel great, and I'd probably say Lightyear is one of my worst movie experiences of all time, along with my first screening of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. But you get into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and as soon as you enter the film, it is loud, and especially when you get into the first scene with Rocket being killed, well, not killed, but being crashed into the building, and then, you know, just the Adam Warlock blasting, the action, or even someone shooting a gun. It's explosive, it's massive. And even when I watched Blue Beetle a couple weeks ago, they showed a trailer for The Nun 2, and it was like loud as hell, and I'm like, I'm scared, but I don't know if it's because it's loud or because if it was on normal volume it would actually scare me. And technically that trailer was shown at AMC. I saw Guardians 3 at Paragon, but overall still a great. Well, I thought the sound was great in the film. I thought the sound of it was great in the theater. I also thought that just experiencing the film was great as well. So yeah, we have another more recent film on this list. And much like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, we're just exploring. We're just watching another great film of cinema, where, you know, you got Michael B. Jordan in the director's chair. He's telling a great story with Adonis Creed and Damian Anderson, and I think that with the way that he did it, he was able to make a film where you're able to go to the theater and watch it and have such a great time and come out of the theater and being like, I loved that movie. You could say it's the worst film, it's the least favorite of the Creed trilogy. You could say it is easily number 5 on my Creed list, but you have to admit going to the theater to see this movie was awesome. That like, and that's the power when you're going to see these types of movies. When you get to the finale of this film, and you get Adonis Creed versus Damian Anderson, sure, you only saw Damian Anderson throughout just one movie, but you feel so powerful because of everything that was built up to the finale. And so when Adonis Creed knocks him out, you're clapping, you're cheering. That's what my theater was like. And I'm like, it feels like we're not just watching a movie, but we're actually watching a boxing match. We're like actually there at the stadium where it's happening. It's like that's how movies like this are supposed to feel. That's why the movie theater experience is so special. So I think the best part about this movie was Guardians 3 was the best for sound. This movie is best for the audience and experiencing a boxing match in a movie with the audience and cheering and watching it with them. That was great about it. Now, with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, of course, this is one of my all-time favorite movies. I absolutely love it with my heart. But with this one, it is a little bit different as it's not really a certain thing I loved about the film of why I put on this list. It's really just experiencing the movie in theaters. Whether it's just watching the movie, seeing the audience reactions to it, like it's just experiencing with the audience, just watching the movie was great. I mean, when I first heard about it, everybody was going crazy about it, saying, this is one of the best Marvel movies, this is the best Spider-Man film, this is the greatest animated movie of all time. I'm like, okay. It has 100% Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, okay. And then I went to go see it, and it was just a great time. Like, the animation, so great. Like, experiencing this, like, with the music, and then getting introduced to this new Miles character, getting introduced to these new Spider people, seeing this other version of Peter Parker, seeing Peter Parker Spider-Man get killed, seeing Miles Morales train Peter Parker, and then have Miles become the Spider-Man he's supposed to be, him defeat Kingpin, learn to be Spider-Man, or even get tense when Prowler's looking for him, or laughing your ass off when Miles is doing the hey joke. It experiences every single aspect of what the movie theater experience is supposed to be, where you experience something great with the audience, but you also experience something great for yourself. Where you come out of the movie and you're like, I loved that movie. And that was so great about it. And I saw this movie twice in the theaters. Once with my sister, first with my mom, and then once with my sister, and then second with my sister. We all loved it, and it's one of the great movies I've ever seen of all time. Now, I know what you're thinking. We kind of have mostly Marvel movies on here. Well, it's because Marvel movies are the best, and also a lot of people are kind of thinking, why isn't this the number one experience? Well, because I have something else. And also, I know what you're thinking. Why isn't the Endgame movie on here? Well, the thing is, I love Endgame. I think, the Portal and Captain America sequence is awesome. The only reason why it's not on this list is because I love those scenes, but I don't remember the crowds being as loud as I thought I remember. And I think it's also because I saw it a long time ago, before the movie even came out, like a week it came out, so I kinda already saw it and know what to expect. But with Avengers Infinity War, it's kind of like what I said with Into the Spider-Verse, where I just went into this movie where I was unlike Into the Spider-Verse, I went into Infinity War extremely excited, with high expectations, and every expectation exceeded. Now the thing is, there's a difference between Infinity War and Endgame why I liked it more with theater experiences, because with Infinity War, I only saw two scenes from the film that I saw on the internet, which was the Hulk versus Thanos fight and the Thor arriving in Wakanda. Everything else I was surprised by. And even when I saw the Hulk versus Thanos fight or Thor arriving in Wakanda, I still loved it. But even like the scenes of, Iron Man fighting the Black Order in New York, along with the team up of Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, Thor interacting with the Guardians, some of the Avengers and the Guardians teaming up, Captain America interacting with Groot, Bruce Banner and Shuri, Captain America and Black Panther running across the plain of Wakanda, and then you get your heart ripped out, you laugh your ass off, you cry your heart out when characters die, when Loki dies, when Spider-Man dies, when Gamora dies, when Heimdall dies, when Vision dies. It's able to do all of that and be like, this was great, and I also can't believe they did this. Like, Into the Spider-Verse was like, I love that film, I want to go see it again, and then this movie is like, I loved this. This was a masterpiece, and it was so well written, but I also can't believe that they did that. And that's how you get out of this film, is like, they did this. They let the bad guy win, and they did that. I can't believe that. Now, this is kind of obvious because it is, the most famous audience theater reaction, but when you watch the film for the first time in theaters, it is a great experience. I watched all the scenes before, but even when going into the theater, I saw opening night, and I had such a great time. When all the characters came through the portals, when they were swinging together, when the villains came back, even just experiencing a great movie, I still loved it. But it's also like, I can't believe I had such a great time with it, but it was also just a great movie at the same time, as in the tone and the tension, that we finally got a great Spider-Man film with this version. It's like, it was so great, and like, I like that we have more serious films with like Wakanda Forever and Guardians, and that's why that film works so well for me. While also just being a great movie, but also having the greatest fan service of all time with that audience reaction. So I loved it. And that is my top 5 favorite movie experiences. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the about section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.